What's up, everyone? It is week 9. Tera Roberts and Howard Bender here for your Thursday night pregame show. And we are taking your questions live in the Fantasy Alarm Discord. So get in there right now, get your questions in, all those good stuff. Start sit questions, trade questions. We do it all in the live stream Q&A section of the Fantasy Alarm Discord. We are ready. And as usual, we will be previewing tonight's game. And it's going to be a good game between, we'll see. Between
I was gonna say.
I was like, well, I mean, I guess I was thinking in terms, like, we were just talking about, and I was just thinking of, like, Jalen Hurts and, like, putting, like, I don't know, man. I guess I got a lot of Eagles, so it's going to be, like, a good night for me, hopefully. Can't say the same for, like, the game as a whole, but I feel like I'm going to be enjoying this. Fingers crossed. Let's hope I'm not jinxing everyone between the Houston Texans and the Philadelphia Eagles. Hopefully there's going to be lots of offense coming from somewhere in this game. But we are ready. Howard, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. My mind feels a little scrambled like yours today. Also, like the news was crazy abundant with Michael Thomas being out now for the rest of the season. And where does that put Callaway and Traquan Smith? And Jarvis Landry just returned to practice. So all of a sudden, does he return to being a guy? Rashad Bateman out for the rest of the season with the Liz Frank surgery that he's going to have, right? It's like immediately Devin Duvernay to the moon. Everybody knows it. But Demarcus Robinson also, like if you missed out on Duvernay or, if you look to the Chargers, I mean, how funny is this, right? The Chargers, Keenan Allen, I'm not coming back until I'm 100%. So Mike Williams is still gone for a couple of weeks more. So Josh Palmer, DeAndre Carter, Devin Duvernay, Demarcus Robinson, and Traquan Smith are all going to be your fantasy heroes this week. Oh, and don't forget about Philip Dorsett tonight also for the Texans. So break me off a piece of that wide receiver candy bar because yum, give me some.
I hit the waivers for sure immediately. I grabbed me a little Demarcus Robinson. Sure did.
How awful is it that we're in that spot right now, especially when you sit there and you talk about also, I mean, Jonathan Taylor not back at practice. Did you not use your waiver priority on Deion Jackson again? I mean, this whole week has just been unbelievably erratic, and I'm here for that.
Yeah, this is why you gotta think ahead, guys. Think ahead because the trade happened, and you could have snatched up Deion Jackson right away when that happened. Because in my opinion, I don't know about you, Howard, but I'm pretty sure I do. I don't think that the handcuff is gonna be Zach Moss in any scenario. So, yeah, even in a not so good matchup for that run game against New England. Obviously, not the best in the world, but still. Are we really going to turn our nose up to a RB1, which is what Deion Jackson is going to be? No, we can't do that. So you got to go in there, get these guys. I know it's like weird names and kind of, yes, you're going to Philip Dorsett. Yes, you're going to Demarcus Robinson. And it feels a little bit ugly, but unless you're in a super shallow league, these are things that can actually work out for you on a bye week where we have literally 6 teams on bye. Absolute insanity here. So yes, we are hitting the waivers. And on top of that, man, I thought, usually we jump into previewing the game, but I thought we would, maybe start off with some trade stuff because it's been a week, man. It has been a massive week in terms of all this news that is happening. Let's start off with the first one that happened. That was a fun trade deadline day. TJ Hawkinson kicked it off to the Minnesota Vikings. How you feeling about that one? Yay, nay, neutral?
I mean, I'm closer to neutral, but with like a lean towards nay. I think he was much more utilized. He was better utilized in Detroit. For them than really for Minnesota, where it's Jefferson, it's Thielen. You saw the role that Irv Smith had, and I mean, they just don't really, they don't focus on the tight end as much. They'll turn to KJ Osborne out of the slot a lot faster than they'll turn towards Johnny Munt or even Irv Smith. I mean, I know Munt got into the end zone. It's like my favorite, like, what the hell touchdown. But for me, I think that Hawkinson goes into kind of a lesser situation that favors passes to the tight end. But I mean, given the state of the position, that's why I kind of think it's more of just a lateral move, maybe just neutral.
Yeah, that's how I feel about it too. I mean, from a real football perspective, that was, fantastic. Good for Minnesota going there and, because
Yeah.
they're a real contender. People aren't giving them the credit, I know, because it's Kirk Cousins. And, reality is that even if they made it to the Super Bowl, that's a primetime game. Is he really going to perform? So,
Oh, that's so mean. That's so.
I
Listen,
know. He's
I'm
gonna have
I'm
to.
I'm here for the Kirk Cousins revenge game narrative this week. His first time back
Yes.
in Washington. So
Yes. I'm here for it too. You like that 100%. So, but yeah, good football move. I liked it for Detroit. I liked it for Minnesota. And for me, it's lateral at best. I mean, if anything, if you've got some people that are like, oh my God, he's going to the Vikings, and you can like maybe sell high on him, that's an opportunity because the waivers are actually really juicy for tight ends right now. I mean, it's kind of like in, as long as you're not in like a double tight end league where it's absolutely insanity, Howard, and there's absolutely nothing on waivers, and you're going in there trying to get Detroit scraps off waivers to fill out your tight end position. But for regular leagues, there's some good stuff that you can pick up. Some good low end tight end ones, high end tight end two opportunities to grab if you want to make that pivot. But Chase Claypool to the Chicago Bears, we'll say, okay, so let's start off with Pittsburgh. Yay or nay for Deontay, Freiermuth, and Pickens?
I don't really think that there's much of a change there. Like Claypool wasn't seeing a ton of targets to begin with, or I mean, I know that they kind of utilized him a little bit more. Was it last week, I think, or maybe it was the week before? Either way, they'll use Steve Sims in the slot, so I think Deontay and Pickens they stay the same value wise. Fryermuth maybe he sees an extra target or two, but I don't necessarily think that there's any kind of big movement on the Pittsburgh side. I think that it's you know I think it's a fine move from a real standpoint, and I guess it could
Yeah.
be a fine move from a fantasy standpoint if you're looking at it from the Claypool side of things. I think it's neutral Pittsburgh. Claypool probably gets a fresh start with Chicago, who's trying to build something, and we've seen some really nice improvement out of Justin Fields for the last 3-4 games, where you're like, wow, okay, this I feel like the dude in Remember the Titans. We got ourselves a football player, right?
Yes.
So I mean, it's so I kind of feel like there's budding excitement for the long haul, and maybe this does help Chase Claypool a little bit more. Darnell Mooney was seeing more targets recently, but I mean, the dude is just not. He's just not getting it. He's not getting it. They're not sending him the ball. It's dead. It's over. Fine, whatever. Equinemius St. Brown. No, I mean, you're not. Sorry. Why can't you be more like your brother? Why can't you be more like Amon Ra? Crazy.
Yes.
Oh, see, your son's right there. I'd be like, why can't you be more like your brother?
Exactly. He's coming here to argue, and he's also coming for his snacks. I'm on snack duty for Q&A, fantasy questions, and snack duty.
All right, what kind of snacks are we looking at here? Are we rocking the goldfish at all? Because I'm a huge goldfish guy.
We are, should have been goldfish, but it's barbecue chips. I went risky here. I went risky.
A little spice to it. I like it.
My kids are weird. They like, salt and vinegar and barbecue chips. I train them to like the things that I like so I can steal, makes sense to me, right?
That is a classic mom move. I love that.
Yes.
I love that. Back to football. So Claypool, I think this could be a good move for him. They're looking for that big-bodied guy who can, get up and get some contested catches. I think Claypool's got that ego, right? Remember we heard all that that he had like ego issues and things like that. Funny. Every single wide receiver that comes to and from Pittsburgh has some sort of an ego problem all of a sudden. But nevertheless, so he gets, a more featured role here perhaps, and hopefully that's, that to me is like I'll pick him up off of waivers and I'll just kind of watch him. I'll see what happens. I don't have high expectations from the Bears offense this year, but they are going to throw.
Yeah, I'm with you. Although I will say on Pittsburgh's end, like long term, long term, I love this for Pickens, obviously. And then short term, I do think it bumps up Freiermuth a little bit because maybe that short range maybe helps him out a little bit. I mean,
Okay.
in terms, he's the one that I would be bumping up a little bit. And then I'm with you. Poor Mooney. High expectations that never met at all. But I love this for Justin Fields. You know, he hasn't been throwing for high volume, but he has been more productive, more efficient with it. And when you look at, like, if you actually watch the game, if you look at the stat lines, you're like, really, like 23 passes? Are we really like, but he looks very good doing it. So an added weapon for him in the schedule that he's got, in my opinion, I'm okay with starting him all the way up through his bye week. Like it's very beautiful through the bye week. And then after that, you need to be prepared to bail out. But yeah, I love this for him. And then the kind of the three-way kind of situation of Bradley Chubb going to Miami, Chase Edmonds going to Denver, and then Miami saying, wait, let's get Jeff Wilson and bring him down from San Francisco. Running backs swapping galore. I mean, this is interesting for Chase Edmonds. Is it making me like super happy to be able to start him? No, but it's a better situation, I think, because he can have some third down value that he really wasn't going to get in Miami. So it's kind of going to be interesting to see how this plays out and if any one of those running backs are actually usable. Poor Melvin Gordon, poor Latavius Murray. Yeah, that backfield is just messy. And then Jeff Wilson to Miami is interesting. Jeff Wilson and Raheem Mostert reunited again with Mike McDaniel. It's starting to look very familiar.
So I love that. I'm totally in on it. And if you're a Raheem Mostert owner, you better cuff him to Jeff Wilson. And you should also kind of worry that maybe Wilson starts seeing a higher snap count, starts seeing more touches. I do like Raheem Mostert. I think that there's a lot to dig about him. However, he's banged up regularly. He's kind of made out of glass. So there's a reason that Mike McDaniel, I mean, think about it. He comes over and he brings Mostert with him. And then all of a sudden, like, that once McCaffrey went to the 49ers, McDaniel was like, beep, beep, boop. Like, yo, Kyle, what's up with Jeff? What are you guys doing anything with Jeff? You just got McCaffrey. You got Mitchell who's coming off the IR. Maybe you can hook me up out here. And Shanahan was like, yeah, dude, of course. No sweat. You do what you got to do, and I'll send Wilson your way. And that's where we're at right now. I mean, that's a coach leaving a team on good terms and still being able to negotiate these players to come over to him. So I like Wilson. Mostert gets a hangnail or stubs his toe or something like that. It's Jeff Wilson on this offense, and I like this offense. I really do. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the way I would go. Denver's just a hot mess. I want nothing to do with Denver, right? That is just, I mean, Melvin Gordon between the tackles, and running between the 20s. And you got Latavius Murray who will poach that short yardage stuff, and then you got Chase Edmonds to handle the pass catching third down. It's the grossest looking three-headed monster you've ever seen in your life. And it's not just gross in fantasy, it's gross in reality too.
Yes. I think Denver is kind of caving in there. Yeah. We should have seen Jerry Jeudy moved, but unfortunately my Packers can't do the right thing and make the right moves. So there you go. Calvin Ridley to Jacksonville. As a Calvin Ridley dynasty owner, just happy to hear some news, man. just
happy to hear something.
We'll see you soon, buddy. Then we had Nyheim Hines to Buffalo and Zach Moss to Indianapolis. Obviously the Buffalo backfield, we knew that Buffalo was searching for a pass catching back, and they, tried and failed to, unfortunately, get J.D. McKissick, drafting James Cook. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen this year for James Cook, but Nyheim Hines, unfortunately, making things a little bit messy for Devin Singletary, who'd been a little bit predictable in terms of knowing when you can and can't start him. And I think it just gets a little too messy right now to be able to have any faith in him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really curious to see what the usage rate is because Singletary, I didn't think there was anything wrong with Singletary.
Yeah.
He could catch passes. Having one guy out there as opposed to a second one, unless there's like been a knock on Singletary's pass blocking that I'm not familiar with, and maybe is not. Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Naeem Hines is a better pass blocker, but I don't really know. I don't understand, and then throwing Zach Moss back the other way to the Colts. I don't know. I don't know. It was like the Colts were like, we need somebody sturdier than Naeem Hines, who might as well just be Darren Sproles and Gio Bernard wrapped up in into one. Maybe Zach Moss, a little bit more of a pounding than Hines could take. I don't know. Maybe he's the pass catcher to Deion Jackson. It made no sense to me. I mean, that's just to me. That's coaches have different ideas about guys than we do.
Yeah, I feel like that was just a "can you take him" kind of deal.
Hey kid, do you mind if we kick you in, Zach Moss?
I want to make this trade, but can you just you gotta take him.
I'll tell you what. All right, we'll take him, but then we need some like equipment bags. If you could send back, send over some equipment bags, we're good for that. We're in.
Exactly. But I mean, that was, other than, defensive stuff, Roquan Smith, Baltimore, which is, hey, good. Baltimore needs to shore up that defense a little bit. So that does help out. It'll be interesting to see now because from a fantasy perspective, now we got to look at it a little bit differently. Now, granted, we might have, he's got to integrate into the team. So don't jump the gun thinking that Baltimore is now unstartable against defense or anything. It's one person, one move, and he just got there. But it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
Yeah. I could just say, yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things work out. I'm more excited about the defensive moves, to be honest. I think the Bears giving up Roquan Smith and Robert Quinn.
Robert Quinn. Mm-hmm. As Philadelphia makes their clear, it's not even a question at this point that they're going to be able to make that Super Bowl push. Very, very interesting.
Are the Eagles D going to be in your captaincy tonight?
Yeah, well, they're expensive.
Oh, are they? I haven't even looked. I haven't even built the lineup because every time I build the lineup, it sucks compared to yours, and so I figure I'll just let you be the lineup person.
We can do that. Yes.
Right? Didn't I text you last week on Thursday?
Yes.
I was like, are you just crushing this weekend right now? What are you doing?
So close. All right, guys. We can talk about that game as I try to figure out how to pull up my Discord because my computer is being very mean to me right now and won't let me pull up Discord, so I might have to do Discord from my phone today.
Do you want me to hit you with the questions here? I got Discord open.
We can. I need to see them too. I'm a little I'm hearing dyslexic sometimes. So
well, then why don't you pull it up on your phone then?
Right. So that
while I sit here and frantically take Brandon Cooks out of all my lineups.
Yes, but
why?
Right. Before we dive into the Discord, by the way, guys, live stream Q&A is where we will be at. Brandon Cooks. Guys, if you haven't heard the news, unfortunately, we are not going to be able to rely on him as a start tonight. And obviously, Nico Collins is out as well. It's just going to be very, very ugly. I mean, Howard, how do you even gauge this game? In terms of, from a fantasy perspective, we know everyone that we're starting. The only startable option on Houston. Now, I will say, Dameon Pierce is a startable option. I've seen a lot of people today, do I sit Dameon Pierce? Do I sit? No. You can still play Dameon Pierce. The Eagles' run defense isn't so aggressive that you have to pull him out of your lineup. The volume should be there. So I'm still okay with Dameon Pierce. How about you?
I am very much in favor of Dameon Pierce, too. It's what I love about Lovie Smith. First of all,
Yeah.
Lovey, don't ever shave the beard, dude. Don't ever shave the beard. It's
Right?
such a good look for him. It
It
really
is.
is. But nevertheless, Lovey runs the ball no matter. He doesn't abandon the run as quick and as easy as many other coaches do. And to reward everybody, remember it was a couple of weeks ago where the Eagles were down, or the Texans were down. It was like 21-3. And there's Lovey running the ball with Damian Pierce, and bam, we get a 70-yard touchdown run. So, or whatever it was. So, I mean, so you got to credit the fact that Lovey does use Damian Pierce a lot. It's a terrible matchup, but he's going to get the touches. The best way for the Texans to win this game or to even compete, is to keep Philly off the field. Long sustained drives, heavy run, chew the clock up. That's what the Texans need to do. Now, obviously, the defense needs to hold off the offense, and that's going to be the problem there. But I would say Damian Pierce, I'm using him for my lineups. I'm like, if somebody's going to get points for fantasy off of that Texans team, it's probably going to be Damian Pierce.
Yeah.
Right. And then maybe it's going to be Philip Dorsett. Then it's a crapshoot, and who the hell cares? So I like the Eagles in this one here. I think they'll go up big. I think, eventually we'll just see Davis Mills throwing heavily. But yeah, I think that, I like it. I like Miles Sanders tonight. Like, he's my guy. Chuck him into the captain seat.
That's what I was thinking too. And then I got a little bit worried because obviously he's not priced down at all on DraftKings in particular. Which is telling us something that is 100% the direction that it's going to go. And it's just, a matter of how you figure out how to fit all of those higher priced Philadelphia players in your lineup to get a little bit different. So yeah, it's even the defense is priced up. Absolutely crazy. But, hey, they're not making it easy for us tonight. But jumping into Discord, I'm going to start off with one that was submitted at 9:45 a.m. because you got in here super early to get your question in. I will not skip over it. From Kay Jarvis, with Allen potentially out this week, from my bench is a respectable flex this week in PPR, Devonta Smith, Eno Benjamin, Deion Jackson, or Monty.
Interesting. Flex it. Devonta Smith. All right. Well, you know what? I mean, I would probably say just one. There's a good group for that. But I'll say this: if JT is out, I would probably use Deion Jackson. I really do. They gotta run the ball. The Patriots, they're like middle of the road in run defense. You gotta take the pressure off of Sam Ehlinger somehow. And for me, Deion Jackson could be that guy. We don't know about James Conner, so I can't make a determination about Eno. Monty is starting to lose the 50-50 split even to Khalil Herbert. So then it's Devonta Smith. Now, we were in on Devonta Smith last weekend, and A.J. Brown caught all 3 touchdown passes. And so we were like, So, I mean, for me, I would rank it Deion Jackson, Devonta Smith, then Eno, then Monty.
Yeah.
Yeah, see? He gets it.
Yeah.
By the way, everybody in chat, notice the Spider-Man headphones that Tera's rocking tonight. Those things, absolutely fantastic. Money in the bag. That's why he's there. He doesn't want candy.
Yes.
He doesn't want snacks. He's like, Ma, why are you using my headphones, Ma?
He's the one that loaned them to me because for some reason I haven't logically figured out that you have to have a backup pair of headphones when your iPad acts absolutely ridiculous. So yeah. But I agree with you. Devonta Smith is the one who I would go with, but I'm not out on the matchup is bad for Deion Jackson, but again, RB1. So yeah, I think Devonta Smith, Deion Jackson is a good option. Montgomery is the last one because you're right. This Khalil Herbert split. Now it's a good matchup, but I feel like this is a game where Khalil Herbert could absolutely go off in his portion of the split of that backfield.
Yeah, I don't doubt that. I don't doubt that at all.
Next question from FMCZ, Devonta Smith or Adam Thielen, half PPR.
I gotta tell you, I think I would go Devonta Smith here. I would. I mean, I think they're pretty even, as the number 2 receiver behind an elite wideout. They both have good matchups. I don't hate the matchup for the Vikings taking on Washington. They don't have a good secondary. But, Thielen kind of needs to get into the end zone in order to make his money, right? So I think Devonta Smith is my guy.
I think that makes sense.
He needs more barbecue chips.
He does. He does for sure. He is very angry about something. Next question here.
All right, I'll let Tara, you give him the barbecue chips. I'm going to run through some Discord here as well. All right, so don't worry about it. Just, Right now we're all going to watch Tara. We're going to be like, what? She's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Now, here we go. Lentil, my darling Lentil, full PPR, needs a wide receiver, a running back, and a flex. Haven't already said it. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Etienne, and Kenneth Walker. Like, why? Oh, maybe this is just Lentil bragging again. Maybe that's what it is. Leave it as is, Lentil. Amon-Ra St. Brown, Travis Etienne, and Kenneth Walker is just fine for your team there. I'm so jealous. Let's see. Josh Palmer. Obi-Wan Outlaw says Josh Palmer, Alec Pierce, Jeff Wilson, or London. I'm going to go with Palmer here as the option with both Keenan Allen and Mike Williams out. He's going to be the wide receiver 1. We're here for that. Playoffs. Pick 2 from my weak wide receivers. Ooh, sad face. Gabe Davis, Tyler Boyd, Robert Woods, Dobbs, and Mooney. All right. Well, here, I'll say this, playoffs. If you're looking for that big home run threat, if you're looking for the big boom, Gabe Davis against the Jets, and then go Romeo Dobbs against Detroit. I think Aaron Rodgers has a field day with Detroit. It's kind of like a feel-good game for Rodgers and the Packers this week, just because Detroit's defense is such a mess. Well, all right. Are you back with us, Tara?
I am back.
All right, so here you go. Gabe Davis, Tyler Boyd. These are the 3 options. I'm going to forget Woods and Mooney because it comes down to Davis, Boyd, and Dobbs. And I'm saying if you're looking for that home run threat, go Davis and Dobbs because these are the big threats in good, solid matchups for them. Boyd's a great guy to have, no doubt about it. Maybe he's got his coverage a little bit tougher with J.C. Horn and somebody else from Carolina. I don't know. I like Davis and Dobbs for me.
Yeah, I'm with you on Davis, but I do lean towards Boyd. Yeah,
that's Packers. I think he's getting Packers hatred right now. That's Packers hatred.
But I feel like Dobbs or not Dobbs. I feel like Boyd is getting that is getting the T. Higgins treatment of the treatment that T. Higgins was getting when Jamar Chase was the one getting all of that attention, and Higgins was greatly benefiting, putting up better numbers. So I feel like that's the same direction that Boyd is heading, that he can be that secondary productive guy as Higgins is just soaking up all of that attention from the defense. So I think his production is going to stick. That's what I'm feeling for him.
All right, there you go. So playoffs, I say Davis and Dobbs if you're looking for the home run. I think Boyd is definitely the safe play, no doubt about it. So Tara says Davis and Boyd. I'm in on that. Lentil says she's trying to get Amari Cooper in a trade. She's looking to package one of these wide receivers with Matt Breida to the Saquon owner. Now, I don't really know if the Saquon owner wants Matt Breida on their roster. Yeah. So, to be perfectly honest, I don't think any of these guys are getting him. I mean, you're not giving up Tyreek Hill, and you're not going to give up Alan Lazard. Could you go Judy and Breida, Alec Pierce and Breida, Juju and Breida? You could, but I just don't think that Breida is enough for Amari Cooper here for the Saquon owner. So I would say you can try it, but it ain't going to work. I just don't think.
Yeah, the problem is that if you've held on to Amari Cooper through all of this, you were seeing the finish line close with Deshaun Watson coming soon. So yeah, as we get closer, it's gonna be a little bit more difficult. I'm with you.
All right. Buster, what's up, dude? Would we do any of these trades? Just something that he's read. Brian Robinson for Romeo Doubs or Mike Evans for Amari Cooper. I mean, first of all, the Mike Evans for Amari Cooper, I mean,
Mm,
you can't do a 1-for-1 same position. It just
yeah,
doesn't. It's not a good deal. It's not a trade. You're not gaining anything out
yeah.
of it. You're not gaining a thing. Brian Robinson for Dobbs. I mean, it just to me it just depends on need. If you need the running back or you need the wide receiver, is it fair? Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
I agree.
Okay.
I'm with you on that one.
All right. Oh, here comes Lentil again. Braggadocious as ever. On my stacked
Nice.
RB team, is Pierce good to trade away for Olave, Godwin, Amari, or CD straight up? Is AJ, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Lazard, Pickens at wide receiver? Yeah, I mean, he got a ton of running backs, so you could do that. I mean, you're getting a like Olave, I guess would be you'd basically be looking at AJ Brown and Amon-Ra St. Brown as your top two wide receivers, and then you're making the decision between Olave and Lazard.
Yeah.
You
I feel
know?
like Olave is the one because for some reason people are kind of skeptical of the actual volume that he's getting with Andy Dalton. So I feel like I feel like he's more attainable than we might realize.
I dig Olave. I do. All
I
right.
do too.
Here we go. Home Run says, or do you want to go back to reading now that you've
Now
you've
that I'm good.
soothed the savage beast with barbecue potato chips?
And I'm like multitasking too because I'm trying to get this Discord pulled up on the computer. But yeah, so I can go back here.
All right.
Question from Home Run: Duvernay or Rondale Moore rest of season full PPR? That's a very good question.
It is a good question, but I listen, I think with the way that Kyler Murray is force feeding targets to DeAndre Hopkins, Duvernay might not see the same workload, the same number of targets, but probably be quality or more quality targets. I almost said qualitier.
Qualitier.
So I'm going to go with Duvernay and shut up on the rest of it.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then at some point, although, when you hear foot injuries, at this point, when we hear somebody has a foot injury, I think we need to panic because all of the general foot injuries are just never good. You hear an ankle and you're like, oh, okay, ankle. We got a timeline. We can figure that out. These foot injuries, no, there's no telling what direction they're going to head. So that said, with Marquise Brown, he's going to be back at some point, supposedly, but are we really 100% sure? That's the only thing that I get a little bit concerned about for and maybe Rondale Moore having some decent value rest of season, but we know for sure with Duvernay, so I think you got to head that direction. I think Duvernay is the one, even if he's not going to get more targets than Rondale Moore, that's for sure. But he has better touchdown upside, so yeah, I think it's the higher upside play for him. Next question from Rowdy357. Hi, Tara and Howard. I have Herbert and Tua in several leagues. Should I start Herbert?
Yes.
So that's the first question. Yeah. That's it. How close is it for you, though?
It's really close, actually. Yeah, I have them both right next to each other, middle of the top 10. If you go Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, then right in there I've got Herbert, Tua, and Kyler Murray.
Yes.
Slap a little Joe Burrow in there.
Yeah. You still go with Herbert, but I see why the debate there between Tua, because you look at him and it's been, there's some upside there. Next question from Rowdy. If JT doesn't go, options are Landry, Tony, Robbie Anderson, Terrace Marshall, and Drake, and have the Drake too.
That's a tough one there. I would say, if Landry keeps practicing, then I would probably go with Landry because it's going to be Landry and Olave as the top two targets, but
Mm-hmm.
I would probably lean, as ugly as this seems, Terrace Marshall Jr. I think that he's the guy who's getting the targets opposite DJ Moore. I get it. It's PJ Walker. Nobody's like really into that, but I mean, Robbie Anderson, he's the deep threat, and Kadarius
Yeah.
Toney, we just don't even know what his role is going to be.
Yeah. That's too big of a gamble. I feel like these targets are going to stick with Marshall because I think we underestimated the actual, we don't like to say, vacated targets, but CMC took so much with him. And now we can actually give attention to the receiving core. So you have to wonder, like all this time, was it that, DJ Moore couldn't get attention because they were so aggressively focused on Christian McCaffrey. So I think that, I do think that Terrace Marshall makes sense right there. I assume Kenyon Drake is I don't know if that's Kenyon Drake or is that Drake London.
Oh, it's probably Kenyon Drake.
Kenyon Drake. I wish it wasn't a Monday night game, because if it wasn't a Monday night game and we knew for sure that Gus Edwards was not playing, I would feel comfortable going that direction for sure.
Gotcha.
Next question from no. More questions from Rowdy. Duvernay or Alec Pierce?
Duvernay.
Yeah. That one is an easy one. Cousins, Lawrence, or Fields this week. This one is more controversial than you would think. I've got my answer for sure. What's yours, Howard?
Oh. Should we write down our answers, or should we say them at the same time and see?
Let's do it.
All right, I'm going to count down from 3.
Okay. Countdown.
And when we say who's going to go 3, 2, 1, and then we give our answer.
All right.
First name and last name. All right, you ready?
Yes.
3, 2, 1. Justin Fields.
Justin Fields. Yep.
Boom.
Yes. Loving Justin Fields this week. It's not even a question for me. I moved him in. I acquired him, starting him. I'm feeling good about it. And then that was the last one. Yes. Last one.
Well, last one of that grouping.
Last one from Rowdy.
We love you, Ann.
Next question from Not So Slim Shady. Need a flex in full point PPR. Carter versus Buffalo. Herbert versus Miami. Mooney versus Miami. Woods versus Kansas City.
I feel like you answered this question about 8.5 minutes ago when you talked about Khalil Herbert possibly going off on this Miami team. So Khalil Herbert for me.
Yeah, the upside is there for sure. That is the exact direction that I want to go. Another question from Rowdy. Have both Hunter Renfrow and Matt Collins. What am I doing with these guys?
I don't know.
You're not doing much with them, unfortunately.
You're not doing
now,
any
granted, I know that you're holding them because it's not like you're not like in a 8-team league or something like that. But I feel, obviously, guys, I'm a big Clemson fan, and unfortunately, what's happening with Hunter Renfrow, this is the wrong direction. His snap counts are lower than Matt Collins. His target share is lower than Matt Collins. I just don't see where this flips around. Everything is going aggressively through Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. And Darren Waller will be back at some point. Between the two, I think Matt Collins has the higher upside. And it's crazy to say, but unfortunately, I don't see where it flips. I think we've got enough of a sample size throughout the season to say that they want Hollins on the field more so than Renfrow. So I don't feel like you need to hold both of them. And if I was honestly going to hold one of them, it's going to be Matt Collins.
I would try packaging up Renfrow with somebody. Maybe the name recognition kind of turns them on, and you get a deal done. But yeah, I'm with Tara there. I love Matt Collins.
Yeah. One more question from Rowdy. In my SFB, start Heineke or Mac? Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say Heineke because I actually think the Colts defense is improving. Could give Mac a little bit of trouble.
100% agree. I do like I don't like Taylor Heineke this week, but of what's left over, because there's not a lot of options to go with, I think Heineke is a fine start over Mac Jones. And then also have Likely, Henry, and Jawan start any of these tight ends over DeAndre Carter, Terrace Marshall, or Traquan Smith?
I mean,
So this one's
it's tight end premium. We have to mention that. I wish
this one is tough.
Yeah, like Likely still had a great game with Andrews playing.
Yeah.
And there's no Rashad Bateman, and they do love their 2 tight end sets. So I feel like Likely is somebody. I like him better than I like Henry. Juwan Johnson might not be terrible either. Like, that's the funny thing, is that because it's tight end premium, Likely and Juwan could actually be the better play over Traquan Smith for sure.
Yeah.
And then, I would probably say over Terrace Marshall as well, because DeAndre Carter as the number 2 receiver in that Chargers offense just puts it in a better situation, I think. So, I would probably go with Likely and Jawan over Marshall and Traquan Smith. And if I'm wrong, Rowdy, and I'm sorry.
I agree. It's risky because they could blink, or well, I don't think Likely will, but Jawan could blink you, but it's a high upside play. I just wish I knew more about Andrews, but hopefully we get a little bit of more information, and then you can say, 100% I'm going with Likely. Next question from Jock10101. Superflex, half PPR. Pick a running back, wide receiver, and flex between Khalil Herbert, Deion Jackson, A.J. Dillon, Brian Robinson, Gus Edwards / Kenyon Drake, Benjamin, Darnell Mooney, Josh Reynolds,
Dude,
DeMarcus
come on.
Robinson.
Really? This isn't Jock, this isn't even fair. I'm not trying to be mean or anything, but come on, right? This is bad. This is like, here's every piece of crap guy sitting on waivers and on my bench and pick. All right, here you go. Khalil Herbert, Philip Dorsett, and Deion Jackson. That's where I'm going.
Khalil Herbert, Josh Reynolds, Deion Jackson. But if he's healthy, if he's even not. So you might, Deion Jackson and DeMarcus Robinson. Yeah. It's a lot. Let's see. 2 questions. Is Algier worth keeping on a team? Yeah.
Until we see Cordarrelle Patterson officially on the roster, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Agree. And then James Cook and because James Cook and Chuba Hubbard are available. Well, not James Cook, but Chuba. Yeah, I would drop Algier for Chuba. I would do that.
All right.
Would you?
I think you're spinning your wheels, basically. Listen, if Patterson comes back and he goes back to full-time touches, then yeah, drop Algier. He's not gonna do anything for you. Chuba at least will get the pass catching work. But I'm still waiting to, the problem is you drop Algier and you add Chuba Hubbard right now. Mm-hmm. And what happens if they say, well, Patterson still needs another week?
That's true.
He just opened the 21-day window, and you're talking about a matchup against the Chargers.
That's true.
So
very true. Good value this week. Although I did see him running.
I saw Patterson running too, but until I get that official word that he's activated onto the roster, I can't in good conscience drop Algier yet.
Yeah, I agree. And then are we dropping Henderson for Donovan Peoples-Jones?
It just depends on your need.
Yeah.
If he says he's RB heavy, so yeah, go ahead, drop him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Devonta Smith or Gabe Davis from Check.
Oh, I'll probably go Devonta Smith.
Same. Another question from Lentil, full PPR, wide receiver, 1 wide receiver, 2 flex, Alec Pierce, Juju, Brian Robinson, Alan Lazard. So we don't need one of those.
Yeah, I would sit Alec Pierce.
Yeah. Agree.
Yeah.
Next question from Hats03.
All right, and then we gotta start rapid firing because we actually got 6 minutes here today, folks. Very important stuff. I can't divulge what it is, but I gotta leave 10 minutes early tonight, and it's very important. So here we go. Let's rapid fire.
Yes. Which of these defenses? Kansas City, Cincinnati, Ravens, Seattle, Saints.
Cincinnati.
Agree. Playoffs. PPR, Algier, or banged up Taylor.
Algier.
Unfortunately, yeah, you got to go with Algier for sure. Hance, Tua, or Cousins.
Tua.
Agree. Lentil, thanks for signing. Oh, okay, yes, thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Not so slim shady. Was leaning towards Herbert Seal. Awesome, you guys rock. Oh, we got lots of kudos. These are lots of like, yay. Awesome. Okay. Lentil, been using Taysom as my tight end because I can afford a low floor. I like it. But trying not to be risky going forward. Do I drop for Juwan Johnson, Tyler Conklin, Hunter Henry, or Logan Tom? No.
Nope.
None of those inspire me.
Nope, me neither.
Just stick with Taysom.
Agreed.
One more question from Hot So 3. I have Hawkinson. Should I play him or get Juwan Johnson, Tyler Conklin?
Just play Hawkinson. Stop trying to play this tight end game, people. We've told you this over and over again. They all suck. They're all gonna suck. Likely, probably the best out of this group here. If you want to drop them for Likely, but just know that if Mark Andrews is at full health, Likely's not gonna do shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Like what?
Although I get it, it's his first. How much play does he get in that first one? But it's a tight end. That's a little bit different, in my opinion, than a wide receiver. So I don't know. Yeah, you can go with Hawk.
Just
stick it out.
Just leave it. It's pointless.
Yes. Question from Captain Hook. Half PPR. Have Michael Thomas drop for? Yes, dropped for sure. Robert Woods, Curtis Samuel, MVS, or Alec Pierce?
I don't know. I'd probably go Curtis Samuel. He's still an active part of that offense.
Yeah, I lean that direction as well. Question from Not So Slim Shady. Full point PPR league. Have Gesicki, Conklin. Have Gesicki, Conklin, Juwan Johnson.
No. Just stay with Gesicki. What's wrong with you guys? Really? I honestly, I genuinely don't understand this. This is actually, I love you, Mark. I do. My man, Shadle. Come on. But what is it? Gesicki had 3 for 38 and a touchdown last week. The week before it was crap. The week before that it was a 2-touchdown game. He's getting it. He's getting his targets. He's a part of this offense. Just leave it be.
Yes, I agree.
I gotta rapid fire through some YouTubers here, and we'll go from there. Let's see, because then I've only got 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and I gotta go. Who's the better option this week, Likely or Gerald Everett? Oh, it's got to be Everett. Come on.
Yeah, it's Everett for sure.
Yeah. Let's see. Grade the trade. You got a D. Let's see. Devin Duvernay or Darrell Henderson?
Duvernay. Yeah.
Yes.
We cannot trust Henderson.
Is Jeff Wilson startable? It depends on what your options are. Depends. Devonta Smith or Gabe Davis? I think we got that one already.
Yeah, we did. And we said that we were going with Devonta Smith.
Yeah. What's your cash plays for DK and FanDuel? You'll just have to go and check out the playbook on Saturday when I release it. You can just go to fantasyalarm.com right now. Take a look at the watch list. That's out there. And we go from there. Deion Jackson start? Yeah, probably depends on, who your other options are.
Yes.
And there we go. And now I'm done. and with a minute to spare, Tara, with a minute to spare.
We did pretty good getting through all of those questions with all of that massive trade news, injury news, everything. And we did really good considering everything that has been going on this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Fantastic questions, fantastic show, and thank you, Howard, as well, for helping me out with all of my Discord issues and my, microphone issues and my headset issues. I'm a hot mess today.
And we're here for it.
And you're my best co-host in the world for putting up with it. and me on my snack duty. So thank you so much, guys. Go enjoy the game. Hopefully it's, hopefully we get a little bit of competition here from Houston. And if not, just I wish you all lots of fantasy points in your endeavors today. Good luck, everyone. We will see you back here again next week. For Howard, I'm Tara. Have a fantastic week.